Next stop, the Palm Beaches. All aboard! Model railroading is a fascinating hobby where enthusiasts build scaled-down train layouts, including tracks, trains, scenery, and often entire miniature towns. It blends the element of art, engineering, history, and storytelling. There's something magical about creating and controlling a small, detailed version of reality. From towering mountains to bustling cities, model railroading allows you to design entire worlds all in the palm of your hand. The level of detail you can achieve, down to tiny signs, vehicles, and even people, makes it feel alive. Welcome to the world in miniature. Today, we're going to be diving into the fascinating world of model railroading, where trains, history, and imagination come together to create breathtaking miniature worlds. For many, model railroading is more than a hobby. It's a way to bring history and creativity to life.
This is the Palm Beach Model Railroaders. We are a HO scale model railroad club located in West Palm Beach at the South Florida Fairgrounds. We've been here since 1975. And what you see around you is the result of the labor of many, many members over that 50-year time period. It's basically a passion that we all enjoy and we all like to spend a lot of time on, and we like coming here, and it's just a fun thing. Keeps us out of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Trains have long been a symbol of adventure, progress, and connection. Model railroading captures that spirit, letting you bring it to life in your own unique way. Whether you're drawn to the artistic side, the technical challenges, or the nostalgic charm, model railroading has a little bit of magic for everyone.
The railroad is essentially a railroad that's Southern themed. It has some local influences. You'll see trains from Norfolk Southern, which is really local, but you'll see trains from the FEC to Florida East Coast. You'll see Amtrak trains running on here. And essentially what we have is two big loop main lines here, and they are over a scale mile each. One is about 1.5 miles and the other one is about 1 mile. You'll see several different towns along the way. You'll see several different yards. We have a big coach yard over there that handles a lot of the passenger trains that come in, a lot of the Amtrak trains over in that corner over there. A big balloon, what we call a balloon here, balloon track. It's basically a yard. We use it for staging, so we prepare trains on it like the train you see in front of you right now. We have what we call Columbia Bay, which is a port area, an industrial area. And then right here we have the fair. This is the South Florida Fair inspired display, if you will.
If you're new to model railroading, don't worry. It's easier than you think to get started. The first step, choosing the right scale.
So scale is basically a representation of like a portion of feet. So in other words, this is what we call HO scale.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's 1/87th. Okay, so 1/87. So that means for every real foot, if you were to take one real foot of something, in model scale, a scale foot would be like 1/87th of that,
Yeah.
right? And interestingly enough, HO scale got its name because it is exactly half of O scale. So HO, right? And then we have N scale, which is tinier. That's 1/160th scale. So that's half the scale of HO.
So they
right?
get pretty small.
They get really, you can get really small. You get into Z, which is a kind of almost a European thing, and that's really tiny, micro stuff. And then you can go upwards. You can go into G scale, which is like G for garden, and that's a scale that a lot of people use when they do outside layouts. And then from there, you get into things like live steam and live, electric.
Like more effects.
Yeah, and that's like 1 foot. So your track gauge, now that gets where they measure it in track gauge, right? Like real railroad track is 4 feet, 8.5 inches, rail to rail. But some of the garden railways and some of the live steam is 1 foot. So it's basically just a quarter size of the real thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Once you've chosen your scale, it's all about building your layout. Start small with an oval track or a simple switching layout. As your skills grow, you can add scenery, buildings, even digital controls for your trains.
It used to be very simple. It was a 12-volt DC or direct current power pack with 2 switches, and we would alternate between 2 different what we call cabs. But over time, with the advent of what's called digital command control, and it has since grown and progressed, and You know, we have a computer that we track the trains on. So we try to incorporate a lot of technology, and as the technology emerges, me personally, I embrace it and I try to integrate it and I try to get these guys up to speed on it.
Model railroading isn't just a solo hobby, it's a community. Clubs like the Palm Beach Model Railroaders are great places to share your work, get inspiration, and connect with others.
This club, you know, has been very popular over the years because being in South Florida, not a lot of people have like things like basements and extra rooms and such, right?
Yeah.
So in order to be involved in a hobby and to participate and to do things, they join an organization like this, which gives them that opportunity. We encourage members to come out, you know, be active, participate, you know, run their own railroad equipment, get involved in the different projects that are going on, you know, building structures. There's individuals that kind of focus on certain things. You know, certain folks like to build buildings and structures, other individuals like doing scenery. Other guys are into like operations. Like one thing I didn't mention is what we will do is we'll basically run this whole layout like a real railroad.
Yeah.
Okay, where everyone has like a job. We have a dispatcher, and the idea is to get trains over the railroad at a certain point in time, and you have to build trains, service certain industries, cars with loads come in, empty cars go out, and it all kind of flows like that. And that's another, some guys are really into that, right? Where that whole process of running the real thing. There's a lot of different technology that's involved, and there's a lot of different skill sets that have to come together, and everyone kind of brings it together and brings their own strengths to the table, and we're more than willing to encourage people to get involved. We really like being here. We really like providing, you know, the show to the community, and it's just a lot of fun.
For many enthusiasts, model railroading is a way to preserve history. You can recreate famous railways, vintage locomotives, and historic towns, bringing bygone eras to life. The hobby offers a hands-on way to explore the impact of trains on industry, culture, and society. And don't forget the scenery. Trees, rivers, bridges, and even tiny people add realism and personality to your setup.
One of the big things that we try to do as a club is we try to preserve certain aspects of the local flavor of history, and we accomplish that through several different things. The structures kind of tell a tale, the scenery kind of tells a tale, but the big thing that really tells a tale are the trains themselves, right? Different individuals put different train sets together to reflect signature trains. For example, this is the Amtrak Silver Star running around right now. You'll see it. The makeup of the train basically reflects what the real one does, although it's not as big as the real one. It's kind of representative. My personal interests go into the 60s and 70s, so I have trains that I put together that are 60s and 70s specific, very, very prototypically specific. Other individuals, other guys like the most modern stuff that's out there, the hottest stuff that's going on out in the world today. So there's a lot of flavor, and you know, of course, we have a few individuals that are really into steam, so that we'll run steam locomotives around the railroad. It's different preferences, but it all has to do with representing the history of the area and representing the history of the railroads that we're running.
Kids really love this, don't they, Larry?
They certainly do. What tends to happen is they're just overwhelmed. There's so much going on. There's movement, and there's lights, and there's blinking lights, and there's just all kinds of different things. And we encourage their parents and, you know, the kids themselves to hang out as long as they like and take in as much as they can. And if they have any questions, then by all means ask us. We'll do everything we can to answer them.
From historical recreations to fantastical designs, model railroading is a hobby that's as unique as the people who enjoy it. Once you've mastered the basics, the sky's the limit. Many enthusiasts add digital controls, sound effects, and lighting to bring their layouts to life.
So what this is this was built by a member probably about 20 plus years ago, and it's basically depicts the Goodyear blimp flying over the city, and it's kind of an interesting collection of odd random parts, a couple of bicycle rims and some steel band and some rollers and some pulleys, and I believe this might be a garage door opener potentially. I'm not quite certain what the background on it is, but it's been here a long time and it's been running right along. So yeah, just an interesting little thing that we have here.
Whether you're building your first track or creating a detailed replica of history, model railroading is a journey like no other. So grab some track, unleash your creativity, and join the fun.
There's always like little stories behind a lot of this stuff. Somebody saw something somewhere and decided to replicate it. There's little humorous things, little funny things, like the stuff that you don't catch one time, you might catch it another time. There's backstories to things. Some of them I'm aware of, other things I'm really not. But at some point in time, one of the members decided that they were gonna, take the initiative and actually add that scene to the railroad.
Yeah, you can come here every time and find something new.
Find something new and neat, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.